Hey guys, welcome back to Matryoshka Tips. Today we're talking about a topic that can make or break your chances of getting the second date. First date mistakes. And first dates are like auditions. You only get one shot to make a lasting impression. But don't worry, we're going through the most common mistakes guy make on first dates, so we'll see how you can avoid them. So, starting with the first one. Don't be late. Being late sends the wrong message. It tells your date that her time isn't valuable to you. Imagine you're meeting someone new and they show up 20 minutes late without any hands up. You'd feel annoyed, right? Now flip that. She's sitting there checking her watch, feeling embarrassed, wondering if you're ever even coming. If you're running late because life happens to all of us, text her. A simple, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm stuck in traffic, I'll be 10 minutes late, goes a long way. It shows respect. And speaking of first impressions, let's move on to how you present yourself physically. So, number 2, dressing appropriately is a key. If you're too casual for a nice restaurant, she'll think you didn't put in any effort. If you're overdressed for a coffee date, it can feel awkward. For example, a guy shows up to a coffee shop wearing a full suit. The woman is sitting there in jeans and a cute top, feeling completely out of place. Now, instead of focusing on each other, you're both distracted by how mismatched you look. Match the vibe of the date. If you're unsure, you can even ask, what's the dress code for this place? Now, once you're dressed right and sitting across from her, the next hurdle is the conversation. So, mistake number 3. I think this is an important one. Don't dominate the conversation. So, imagine you're telling a story about your job and you get so into it that 15 minutes go by before you realize you haven't even asked her a single question. She's nodding politely, but inside she's checked out. Here's the fix. Follow the 2-for-1 rule. For every 2 things you share about yourself, ask her one thoughtful question. For example, if you're talking about your favorite travel destinations, follow it up with, what's a place you've always wanted to visit? So this keeps the conversation balanced. But even a great conversation can go sideways if your attention is divided. So mistake number 4. Put the phone away. Seriously, there's nothing that kills the vibe faster than you checking your phone during a date. Oh my god. For example, you're mid-conversation and suddenly you get a notification. You glance down and now she feels like she's competing for your attention. Not cool. Turn your phone on silent, or better yet, leave it in your pocket. Show her that she has your undivided attention. Now that you're focused on her, let's make sure the energy stays positive. So, mistake number 5. No one wants to hear about all the things going wrong in your life on a first date. Keep it light and positive. A guy spends 20 minutes complaining about his job, his ex, and how bad traffic was on the way to the date. For example, by the end, the woman feels drained, not excited to see him again. Instead, focus on what's going on right now in your life. Even if you've had a bad day, share something positive like, work was stressful, but I've been looking forward to meeting you all day. Positive vibes are contagious. Speaking of vibes, let's talk about the balance between planning too much and not planning enough. So, mistake number 6. Planning the date is your responsibility, but there is a sweet spot. Over-planning makes it feel rigid, while under-planning can come off as lazy. Imagine you say, let's hang out, but don't specify where or when. Now she's wondering if you're serious. Or on the flip side, you plan a packed itinerary, dinner, a movie, and a walk, leaving no room for spontaneous stuff. Choose 1 or 2 activities that allow you to talk and connect, like grabbing coffee and going for a walk. Keep it simple but thoughtful. Because I think it's important to talk first, no? Now that the logistics are covered, let's move to something even more important, manners. So, mistake number 7. Good manners aren't just about opening doors, they are about showing respect. For example, a guy doesn't say thank you to the waiter or cuts his date off mid-sentence. She's immediately turned off because it shows a lack of awareness. Basic manners like saying please and thank you, making eye contact and listening attentively go a long way. Treat everyone around you with respect. It's a reflection of your character. Now, while good manners matter, some topics are better left untouched, like your ex. So mistake number 8. And here is a rule: no ex talk. On the first date, your past relationships are off limits. A guy spends half the date talking about how his ex did him wrong, for example. And instead of focusing on the present, the woman is wondering if he's even over his past. If she asks, keep it short and sweet. I learned a lot from my last relationship, but I'm focused on the future now. Then go back to the current conversation, which brings us to another mistake: trying too hard to impress. Let me be clear, you don't need to oversell yourself. A guy, for example you, spend the whole date name dropping or talking about how much money you make. Instead of being impressed, well, the woman feels like he's trying too hard. Confidence comes from being authentic. So share your interests, your goals, and your personality. That's what she will connect with, not your resume or bank account. And finally, let's talk about the most underrated aspect of first dates: knowing when to end them. Dragging the date out too long can leave her feeling tired instead of excited for the next time. The date is going great, but instead of ending on a huge note, you suggest going to another bar. Now she's yawning and checking her watch, maybe wishing she was home. End the date when the energy is still high. This is important. Say something like, oh, I've had such a great time tonight. Let's do this again soon. Leave her wanting more. So there you have it. 10 first date mistakes and how to avoid them. And remember, first dates aren't about being perfect. They are about showing up as your best self. So which of these tips do you think you'll use on your next date? Let me know in the comments. And if you found that video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.